need to unmute myself. Hey, everybody. I am Cody. Welcome to episode 1 of the Hard Knock Dice campaign, Blood and Silver, a Velderos campaign. We're going to go ahead and do some quick introductions just because this is going to be our first episode with everyone. We have Christopher. Go ahead and introduce yourself, please.
Hello, I am Chris, also Christopher, and you've seen me as Jakob in Ghost of Saltmarsh.
Awesome. We have Ian.
Yeah, that's me. I have been both dungeon master and player in this here champagne in this here group of D&D players, and I'll be playing Apollinaire Belarus in this campaign.
I slowly cough myself to death. Kent.
Yeah, I'm Kent. I mean, I've been in all the Hard Knock campaigns and playing Dungeons and Dragons for a really long time. I'll be Roderick.
And Kylie.
Hi, folks. So I'm Kylie. I'm new to Hard Knock Dice. I'm so excited, and I'm going to be playing Seraphina.
So that is going to be our party. I will neglect to call them heroes as we have yet to see how they're going to handle this campaign. I am Cody, and I will be the storyteller, dungeon master, whatever nomenclature you prefer to use. As always, we're going to go ahead and shout out Extra Life Charity, which is a nonprofit we've been supporting for almost the entire duration of Hard Knock Dice. So if someone would go ahead and drop a link to that, y'all can check it out. It's always better to do good where you can. So as we get started with episode 1 of this campaign, we have to give you a little bit of background on where exactly this campaign is taking place. This is going to be called Blood and Silver and is a revolutionary campaign taking place in Griffin City, one of the 4 greatest cities in the world. All the other great cities are the capitals of their respective nations, but Griffin remains independent, a proud city-state that has owed its allegiance to no king. However, in recent times, over the past 10 or so years, other nations have had their eyes on the wealth and prosperity that being a city in the center of a crossroads of several larger nations can bestow. As it has had the influence of these other nations leaking in and slowly taking over, eventually it caused a revolutionary period. As I click through 19 documents worth of notes to make sure I can get everything out here properly. Unsuccessfully, might I add. The players are going to be starting off sitting in a room. Y'all find yourselves in a small room with stone walls and stone-tiled floor covered in carpet, haphazard benches and chairs lining the walls, 2 stony-faced men with weapons guarding one of 2 doors, and a stairway leading upwards. You're not sure why you were in this room. You have each been given instructions, and we're going to go around to each of you to kind of give a little explanation of how you got here. So we'll start with Roderick Smith. Roderick Smith, before we go into your quick little flashback period, could you describe your character for me, please?
Sure. Roderick is not a normal organic being. He is a weird construct that is almost 7 feet tall, technically over 7 feet tall, because he's got some big horns that sprout out of his head. He kind of almost seems like he's partially a suit of armor, but interlaced throughout all the bits and pieces and metal plates that make up his entire person is a weird form of radiant, almost magma or slag or whatever you want to call it. And he is a Forged Domain cleric. And the horns are kind of almost sort of seem like a weird form of exhaust because they have like literal fire that comes out of the top of his head. But other than that, he just is a normal guy, just
other
a
than
construct.
all of these other things.
Just
All right.
just the average guy.
So Roderick Smith, as you sat next to your wagon, a young boy, probably just one of the street boys you've seen around here dozens and dozens of times, run up to you saying that a man had asked for this letter to be delivered to you. Opening it in simple paper, simple script, and no signet of any kind on it. It said, "Dear Roderick Smith, how badly do you want to save the people of Durden Row from subjugation? 3 days from now, on the 13th hour, Emerald District, alley next to the Seven Jesters Theater. Password to rise and burn and rise again. Bring the coin. Your friend always, Kieldrosi." And contained in the letter was a silver coin larger than most currency, emblazoned with a rising sun on one side and 3 arrows on the other. Not anything that you would recognize. Kylie,
Yes.
or Serafina Lebrain. Kieldrosi was a man that you had known, gotten meals with on occasion, and it was during one of these such meals, as y'all were wrapping up, sitting across from him, he took a note out of his jacket and set it on the table, sliding it over to you. Delicious. Anyway, I'll cover the meal. Open this when you get home, but not before. Understand?
Oh, I understand. You're always so mysterious.
Where's the fun in not? He smiles, stands up, and pushes his chair in, gives you a nod. When you get home and finally get the chance to open your letter, says, "Dear Sarah, I'm sure your parents must be proud of all you are doing for the Sylvan Nation. But there is yet more that you can do for your people. More even than your parents could have possibly imagined. Let us make a bargain to the benefit of all." Has the same directions and signed in the same way, your friend, Kieldrosi. And it contains the same oversized silver coin with the mysterious emblems on both sides. If any of you say that you end up not going, it's going to make this campaign really difficult, really fast. What was on the sides of the coin was a rising sun on one side and 3 arrows on the other. To answer the question that was in chat. Gaia, more fully, Gaia Cinder, Frostmouse, Berrybush, Lilystar. You were spending your days in the Grand Library of Viowin, as you had been for some time. And your occasional companion, Kieldrosi, was not there today. He left a letter with one of the librarians who said to you that he said he had to leave on urgent business. The contents of your letter are, "Dear sweet Gaia, have care, for as you know, the walls have eyes and ears. All who are bound seek liberation. A good turn deserves another, and so too do broken chains shatter chains again. Have faith, and we shall speak when I am able. Travel to Griffin, far to the south. In 3 months' time, seek out the Seven Jesters Theater in the Emerald District, in the alley, and speak the password to rise and burn and rise again. Do not lose this token. You will need it. Your friend and ally, Kieldrosi. And lastly, for Apollinaire Bellerose,
Yee.
you received no letter. You had been outside of the burned remains of your tavern. No more than 1 or 2 days after the incident, the smoldering long cooled, and you hear footsteps behind you, boots on the cobblestones. Mr. Bellerose.
Yes, hello. What can I do for you?
You turn and you see a man wearing a long knee-length coat and wool, bundled in scarves. And you recognize him as a wealthy gentleman who you had tactfully removed from your tavern one night after what seemed to be a few too many drinks. He is not drunk now. In fact, he is almost grimly sober. Mr. Bellerose, I had come to make a bargain, but it seems I am a little late for that. Well, never mind that now. Kind of looks you up and down, nods at the bandaged arm. I take it that means you were determined to fight for your cause?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Of course. Takes out a silver token, takes another step to you. Presses it to your hand. Your good hand, obviously. If you mean what you agreed to. Emerald District, alley next to the the Seven Jesters Theater. Day after tomorrow. Opportunities that I think you will find favorable.
Yeah, well.
He seems utterly unflustered by your vagueness. Just claps a hand on your good shoulder, taking care to avoid.
Such a dick move. That would have been such an asshole thing to do. Yeah.
Taking care to avoid your burned arm. I have places to be, and little time. Good luck.
Thank you.
And with
Think.
absolutely no more explanation than that, turns and walks away.
Bewildered old man face.
Apollinaire also gets the password.
Nice. Sick. Get out of here, old man. You don't know the password.
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Get out of here.
Well, mine isn't what it used to be.
So as each of you, one by one, entered the alleyway next to the Seven Jesters Theater in the Emerald District, which is the entertainment district for the Carnival, which is a grand... all the words I keep wanting to use are actually words used to describe the carnival. I can't say a carnival of distractions. It is one of the tourist attractions. It is a large part of the city. People work there, people live there. It's where you have the red light district. You have all of the theaters and playhouses and comedy clubs. You have the eating houses and taverns. You have the boarding houses for the rich. It is probably the most iconic part of Griffin City, taking up an entire layer of the city. And as one by one you enter the alleyway of a boarded up, run-down theater, there's a door in the back of the alleyway, which a person wearing rags is slumped. And as each of you confusedly or cautiously or confidently speak the password, he stands up, producing a key, and wordlessly unlocks the door for you to go downstairs. An unlit stairway leading into the room I originally described. A smorgasbord of fun. I suppose that is not technically incorrect.
Do we want to toss out physical descriptions of our other 3 party members?
I did, because I completely overlooked that. So we'll go in the same order that I went in. I think we'll go ahead and do Serafina Lebrain. If you would describe your character for us, please, as y'all stand in this dimly lit, disheveled room.
Yeah, so I think that everybody sees Serafina relaxed in very fine, like performer's garbs. So like an emerald green skirt with like a white silk top with embroidered like a vest over that, and she's just like leaned very relaxed against a wall, sort of surveying everybody and just trying to get the lay of the land. She's about 5'5", dark black hair, and if you take a notice, she has features that aren't necessarily human, but unless you catch them, she's just a normal gal. Oh,
You muted Dungeon Master.
Awesome. I was saying,
Hell yeah.
tell us about Gaia Lilystar.
All right. Gaia is much shorter than everybody else in the party. She's about 3 feet tall. She has incredibly poofy and curly hair that is comparable to the coloration of a calico cat, with reds and oranges and browns and whites. Her lips are a darker color, closer to black than a natural color, and her eyes are 2 different colors of blue and blue in the left eye and green in the right. She has a caramel colored skin, and she's wearing a lot of kind of just natural leathers, all kind of browns. She also has kind of a tail swishing back and forth, which is the same color as her hair. The thing that stands out the most about her is she's wearing a collar that is made of a swirling purple color that has a bright red ribbon.
And lastly, Apollinaire Belleros.
Yeah. Apollinaire is also a human gentleman, probably standing right around 6 foot, maybe a little bit over. Very, very lanky features, very slender. Older. Hair kind of coming down to probably right about his cheeks, kind of parted in the middle, his bangs. Mostly gray with a little bit of black peppered in here and there. In the salt and pepper category, heavy on the salt, light on the pepper. But with that hair, the longer bangs kind of getting shorter as it goes back on the sides, with a nice big mustache kind of on his upper lip. But dressed in probably a very, very simple kind of commoner's guard, kind of darker pants, ankle high boots, just a plain kind of cream shirt with a blue black vest on over it, and on top of that a almost poncho-y kind of short cloak, in which only his left arm is stuck out, while his right is still covered on the left hand having 2 rings, one on his ring finger and one on his pinky, both fairly plain in nature, just plain bands. Is going to be sitting in this room because he's an old man. Is not just going to stand for no reason, and has and additionally is kind of in that left hand, kind of tapping slowly a simple cane that he carries on his person.
I did forget my 2 friends that were with me.
Oh yeah.
At Gaia's feet are 2 Maine Coon cats that are of a cream orange color along their backs and a white in their stomachs. Both of them standing stock still, staring directly at Apollinaire. And if anybody looks closely, their eyes are not cat's eyes. They are the closest comparison, human eyes.
I don't like that at all.
They're like
Yeah, no,
poodles.
No, that
They're
is-
like poodles, but cats. It's terrible.
And they have a swirling purple color in their eyes, similar to that of the collar.
They're staring at the old man, not the living suit of armor that is on fire.
Just a quick question. There aren't in your setting like halflings and dwarves and stuff generally, right? Okay.
The existence of changelings or half-fae is not a secret, though. You've probably seen a few others before. Creatures that are both of the material world and of the shadow wilds that the fae come from.
Those are common in a city?
Not common, no, but you've probably seen them before. Not unheard of. Each of you doing whatever it is you are doing. Apollinaire definitely sitting down to rest his weary old bones. In this waiting room that looks like it was stocked by like a medieval Goodwill. Nothing matches. It's, like 3 or 4 of the lamps are all different. There's like a church pew pushed against one wall that maybe y'all are sitting on, a couple of kitchen chairs, a bench. The 2 armed men guarding the door across the way from the stairwell are not uniformed in any way either. They're both carrying, one's carrying a small sword, the other is carrying a hatchet, wearing improvised armor at best. They both look very grim and determined, though. Eventually, you'll hear a knock from the door, and one of them opens it, and there's another one of the disheveled, partially armed men. The order will see you now, and beckons for y'all to follow before turning and walking down the hallway.
I will follow.
Yeah, I follow.
Yeah. Hoist myself out of my chair.
I should hope so.
Follow. Fuck the shot.
I'll
Here,
help
I'm leaving.
Yeah, old man if he's struggling.
No. Not struggling, but yeah, does kind of lean on the cane.
I would like to add, Apollinaire, that while you may have never met him, you have probably heard of this glowing armored figure at least once or twice.
And I know of his existence within the city.
Right.
Gotcha. Just kind of glance at him kind of every now and then, like, ooh, would you look at that? It does exist.
Gaia will look down at the 2 cats that she has with her and say, Hex, Charm, come on.
They will follow you. So go down the hallway. It's a equally unadorned hall of stone with a couple doors to the left and right, and a large double door at the very end. And this is the door that the guard takes you to. Opening the door and once again beckoning you inside is a large chamber, this one much more populated. As you shuffle in, I say much more populated, it's not packed. There is a large raised dais with 7 chairs, again, none of them matching, each chair inhabited by an individual, some of which at least Apollinaire and Roderick will recognize, and one of which Seraphina will absolutely recognize. Below the dais is a large kind of sitting area, or clearly intended to be one, with, again, disheveled, or I guess ramshackle, like pews, chairs, benches, like an ottoman sitting there, set into loose rows facing the dais. And as again, I shuffle through my notes, I should be more organized about this. The 7 people sitting in the chairs all turn to face you.
Well, I mean, this is definitely super awkward, and Roderick's probably never been around quite this many people at once, just like out in the open. Usually kind of stays away from the broad, busy streets because he freaks people the fuck out. So his little awkward body language going on for sure.
There's the 4 of you, the 7 on the dais, and in addition, probably 5 or 6 guards. A couple near, again, guards. One's got like, a sickle, maybe an improvised spear, like a steak knife, welded to the end of a stick. This is not
the rebellion
Apex.
is in good hands.
Oh yeah. A couple by the door, the rest by the dais itself, kind of imposing themselves between you and the ones on the dais. I suppose we should introduce ourselves. Is this really what that fop Kiel has provided for us? The man in the far right, sitting down, is a local, which anyone would recognize as the Council of Governance member representing Griffin, Antoine Delafosse. He's got a rumpled long tailcoat and worn slacks and shirt, a heavily wrinkled face, and frizzy gray hair pulled back into a short tail. Fop. That fop Kiel. Good God. And he is kind of leaning forward, an elbow resting on a knee, looking at y'all disappointedly, for sure.
I think Seraphina because she has this presence about her, and she raises her eyebrow and goes, "Really? You're going to judge us based off of who we look like?"
One of the guards looks like he's probably 17 at the oldest. Kind of brandishes his kitchen knife spear at you. Do not talk to the leaders like that. Show some respect.
Oh, child, you're fine. Just take a minute. We're going to hear what your fine leaders have to say, and we'll get through this. It'll be fine. Settle down.
It shows that there was no offense meant. And just kind of gesturing at Seraphina and then looking back at the other old guy.
No, it's not about offense. It's about propriety. I am just simply stating how we're all feeling, or at least how I feel.
He looks both indignant and yet also rebuked, and clearly in over his head as you say that to him. Next to Antoine Delafosse, is a woman you wouldn't recognize. Middle-aged, a lined face, wearing a simple dress and petticoat, smoking a long-stemmed pipe. Neck-length brown hair, heavily traced with gray, not unlike your own Antoine Bellafos. Next would be a gentleman that y'all might recognize. He is a prominent merchant by the name of Lai Fang from Shira, wearing elaborately embroidered robes in gray and silk, and leaning back over steepled fingers and watching you. This is the one that Serafina would recognize most readily and have in fact met and spoken to several times, the Lieutenant Guildmaster for the Bardic Guild, Sacha Alvray. His white lace front shirt and blouse sleeves, and straight blonde hair. You see also
What was that name one more time? Sorry.
Oh.
What was that name one more time?
Sacha Alvray.
Spelled it entirely incorrect.
All good. There's also a clearly Alton gentleman in a high-necked black jacket and leggings worked with silver, and short cropped hair shaved close on the sides like that of a soldier. Another who longtime locals would recognize as the member of the Council of Governance representing Zorjin, Hosan Asayesh, shaved bald with a goatee, wearing red silk of his native lands. And I would like to correct myself real quick. The 7th chair on the far end is empty. This is the one most recognizable, Antoine Delafosse. Well, go ahead. Who did Kiel send to us? Who are you?
I will just kind of step forward, kind of bouncing on both her feet. Oh, hello, I am Gaia. I'm not really sure why we're here, but I would love to be your friend, all of you.
See confused looks passing between the seated individuals, except for Lai Fang, who doesn't look away at all. And you are a warrior.
No.
Saboteur?
No.
Assassin?
What's that?
Right.
I can do this. And she's gonna cast minor illusion and just make like a little tree grow from her hand.
They react to that one at least. The confusion making way for shock and kind of a wide-eyed glance from the shrewish woman to the left.
And that's usually what people do.
A spellcaster. I see.
So will you be my friend?
The shrewish woman speaks up for the first time. That is yet to be seen.
Oh.
But hopefully.
Okay.
And you, big glowing one, kind of shakes his hand at you. Or looking for a weapon warrior?
Oh, I'm just Roger. I'm a smith. He said we'd get out in row.
Dordenrow. Where's Dordenrow? They kind of talk back and forth a little bit. Roderick, we intend to help all of Griffin. Dordenrow included. And you old man.
I am just gonna kind of gesture with the cane towards them before going back to leaning on it towards his left side. I'm Apollinaire Beloros. I'm the former proprietor of the Tolling Rose here in the fourth layer. From what I gather from everything going on here, you're looking to repeat the intentions from a year ago, but successfully this time around.
Something along those lines.
Well, then I am here because I would like to assist in however I may.
I see.
Yes.
And you, girl.
Seraphina takes a step forward and curtsies deeply and is, well, I am, as Master Avre knows, I'm Seraphina, and I'm here because I have many skills. People skills, weapon skills, and maybe some skills that some of you have had a chance to experience in one of the fine taverns or theaters around town.
Sacha leans over, speaking to the rest on the right, and says, "This is the one Kiel spoke to me personally about." They all just kind of nod knowingly. So, they look entirely from first to last unimpressed. And a little concerned. And we trust him. This is the 5 documents. This was Hassan speaking. And Antoine responds, "I may not like him, but I trust him implicitly. On this matter, at least." "Very well. Besides, we are nearly out of options with this latest catastrophe." No lady to his left speaks. "So it is decided. Let us pray this does not be a disastrous mistake." So, Lifang speaks, kind of standing up and walking to the edge of the dais, arms in his sleeves. "You wish to fight for the rebellion?"
That's why I'm here.
To reduce the loss of the young lives of the people of our city.
Yeah, I reckon.
Sure.
He looks, I won't say confused, as he is a very unexpressive person, but a perceptive person would notice a slight wrinkling of his brow at the "sure." "Well, we are in need of every bit of assistance we can get. We are undermanned, under-equipped, and out of time. One of our number," kind of gestures at the empty chair, "the men responsible for directing our men and making strategic decisions, has been captured and will be transported to Altus for trial and execution. They depart the day after tomorrow, They will be most vulnerable while traveling before they reach Altus. We would not entrust this to those sent to us immediately by Kiel, except we have already lost men in attempted rescue, and we don't have any other choice. There will be 2 days of preparation. What do you say, and do you have any questions?
Who is it that is being captured?
Valentin Pascal. You would not likely know the name, but
I will take that to answer that question.
we will have a man bring you information once you have been set in your quarters, as Kiel has no doubt explained to you.
No, I'm afraid not.
No? What has Kiel told you?
You know Kiel, he likes his mysteries.
I was told if I come here, I have to save Durden Row, so doing my part.
So what has Kiel told you?
To
here.
show up today?
To show up
That
today.
is correct, yes.
Yes.
To come to this location.
Sometimes I hate that man. He will walk back to his chair and take a seat. You are
He gave
speaking.
his password stuff too.
Oh, I bet he did. Hassan is shaking his head and just staring forward at the lot of you. We are the Order of the Dawn.
What has he done?
It sounded dramatic, and, you know, the black sunset. Opposite.
Yes,
It makes sense.
of course. It is wonderful name.
I thought so as well. This is Antoine. We are busy people. What do you need to know from us? We will have you shown to your quarters shortly. We have places to be.
Right, so if we go and get this guy and we bring him back, he'll save Durden Row, right? That's the plan.
One track mind.
Is he like a politician or something?
I think Serafina goes up to Roderick and gently places her hand on his arm and says, "We're here to take care of everybody, including your beloved Road. Have no worries."
So,
All right.
The one that hasn't spoken yet. Oh, go ahead.
Are there beds? Did you get leaves and sticks and make me like a bed? Where are we sleeping?
Pawnee looks very concerned about that description of a bed. Like, oh
So
no.
One of the ones that hasn't spoken yet, the one in the high-necked jacket with the military haircut, says, "You can make your bed however you desire. I do not care. Why are we having this conversation? Who are these people? They're not warriors, they're not assassins. What do we hope to accomplish with this?"
I thought you wanted us to rescue someone.
Yes, I did. I'm just
So,
very
wait, you
confused
did?
as to what is going on here.
We're not doing it anymore.
Cancel.
Wait, what did you say? I can hear.
Are we not doing it anymore? You said you did, but now are we still doing it?
I still
Where's
hope
he at?
you are. I still hope you are. I hope you can. Wait. What is...
Are we going to be getting a map of the coordinates of where we're going to be rescuing your compatriot? I would like some time to plan out this mission, despite the fact that you are so low thinking of us. I actually do have skills. Sorry that you, for some reason, probably are. Never mind. I'm gonna.
He's kind of doing this thing while he watches you. It is good that you have skills. Les, we'll see. I don't believe it has come to this. We're all going to die. We're all going to get executed. My father's going to get executed.
Does he do something against the law or something?
Is it?
He just kind of like looks in absolute disbelief at Roderick for a moment. I see.
I will. Are you able to provide a map as the young
Yes.
woman
Yes,
suggested?
we will get you maps. Kind of gestures at tables that are lining the walls. This seems to be a sort of planning room after an extended look. The tables are littered with lists, charts, a handful of maps. Some of them are actual maps. Some of them seem to be sketches. A collection of plates, some of them still holding half-eaten meals. Yeah, this is the chamber where it would be coming from. We will provide to you what we can. This is Apollinaire speaking.
It is.
Huh?
Apollinaire is me.
Or not Apollinaire, Jesus. I can only have one document open at a time. Antoine
I
Delafosse.
must bust your chops. I'm sorry.
That is perfectly all right. Yeah, Antoine says, we will provide to you what information we can. And in the meantime, we must be going. We will have a point of contact here, and the theater will be your new home, as Kiel has, or perhaps not, described.
Looks around at the other three. I do not believe that was communicated to us. No.
Hey, what? Has he got a place for my mule?
I am sure that can be arranged.
You brought a
All
mule
right.
to this meeting.
You have a mule?
If any of you arrived after Roderick, you would have seen a mule and cart outside the
That
alleyway.
was your mule outside. I see. Yeah, I understand.
I have to meet him.
All right, yeah, he's just outside.
The woman who is smoking a pipe, kind of leaning back, looking bitter and shrewish, says, "So is it agreed? Is this an agreement? You are taking on the job."
Sure.
Yes.
Well, then it's agreed. If you succeed, we get what we want. If you fail, you are dead, and we are exactly where we were before. And if you screw us over, I will curse you with my dying breath and all that. I suppose I'm fucked anyway.
I believe such negativity is not necessarily warranted, madame.
Well, seeing as Kiel chose to not prepare you in even the slightest for what is going on, I'll do a brief round of introductions ourselves. Some of us you have met or know of. Antoine. Oh, fucking smile, will you? She says, not smiling herself.
God damn.
I am Michel Dupont. I am the head of the servants in the Citadel.
Was that Michelle or Rochelle?
Michel.
Michelle Dupont.
That is Lai Feng. He is our money man. His tight purse is the source of most of my bitching. He just, the smallest of smiles. Ah, without me, you would have no purse strings, tight or otherwise. Yes, whatever. Sacha Auvray of the Bardic Guild. Theobald Mazzanti, son of the Alton Council representative Raphael Mazanti. Hosanna Sayesh, representing Zorjin. And our empty chair from the man who can actually, hopefully, assist us in fighting. Would be Valentine Pascal, who,
Monsieur
if you
Pascal.
do your job, will be back very soon. Does that clear everything up? Does that clear something up?
Sure.
I believe so.
Fine. Go, take them.
Just glances at these other three people. Fucking Paul here doesn't know about this kind of thing. Like, it's just,
All right, yeah, let's go.
She clearly expects you to know who most of these people are.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, this swapping between documents thing is not working for me.
Multiple screens. You gotta have a whole setup where it's all over the wall. You got like 6.
I'm gonna end up with like one of those 4-screen things.
He's got like the Charlie Day meme, but it's all screens.
Hell
So,
yeah.
so y'all have had the crash course introduction in this
Oh yeah.
highly equipped, well decorated headquarters of the rebellion. You're now being shooed away. We will call you back shortly, within the next day at least. Get yourselves settled so we can plan with a little bit more organization than Kiel intended, I think. And
Yes, would be much appreciated.
one of the guards opens the door and
Are
beckons
we
for you to
in
follow
the
him.
theater or is the theater next door?
Y'all are below the theater.
We
Below
in the
theater.
basement.
So they're saying that we now live upstairs.
Yes.
So
Yep.
is the basement just like don't go down into the basement where
This is
the
very
grown-ups are?
convenient. Very convenient. As my house just burnt down a few days ago. So you know.
I don't have a house.
As you are led back through the hallway previously described and into the, for lack of a better word, like antechamber, where y'all sat quietly for an uncomfortably long time before the introduction. The other door that was not guarded is open for you, and you go up a spiral staircase leading into the actual abandoned theater itself.
Just shuffles everyone in front of you. As the rest of you go ahead, I will take a little bit longer to go up the stairs.
It's all right. I can help. Oh, that's not the voice changer.
It's all right. I can help you.
Gaia tugs on Seraphina's sleeve and just I don't know exactly what is going on. Will you be my friend?
I would love to be your friend, Gaia.
I
Let's
made a new friend.
Go upstairs, and Seraphina holds out her hand to hold the hand of you.
Gaia
And
grabs your hand. Very
Okay.
happy.
just walk and sort of guide you up the stairs, because Seraphina's used to theaters, even if they're abandoned.
So, as y'all apparently in pairs make it up the spiral staircase, you're led through a door that opens into exactly what you would expect a long abandoned theater to look like. There's the stage with the tattered remains of curtains mostly rotted away, lines of benches kind of pushed out of the way, clutter, much of it broken. And you can see above you the curled stairways that will lead to the overhead seating for the wealthier viewers. And the awkward silence of the guard, for lack of a better word, armed peasant. I suppose this is your quarters? Uh, you can do with it as you will. The doors and windows have been boarded for privacy and such, I guess. I am not very familiar with all of this cloak and dagger, if I'm going to be honest with you. But you can go in and out down these stairs, and if you need something, we have people down there most times of night and day.
There is no need to feel awkward, young man. Thank you.
Yes, you are doing just fine. When you get a moment, can you deliver this message to Sasha? Because I have all of my things in my rooms, and I can't possibly perform without my instruments, and I don't have my sword or my bow. Like, I need my things.
Oh, we were told you are all homeless. I will tell him.
I'm homeless. I do not have.
Okay.
That is technically true.
Well, I have a key.
I'm not homeless. I think Serafina looks at the two of you, or all four of you, and go, I am actually very wealthy and very well known. I have things. I am here for many reasons. Some are mine, and some are well known to you. I'm going to have some words with my dear Keel, because I have my things. I need my things.
He looks very intimidated by this speech as he just slowly leans further and further back from the intensity of all that.
You're fine, dear. You're fine. And I think Serafina pulls out a bag of silver and hands you 5, and it's just take this.
Oh.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you very much, madame.
Of course.
And
No
just
problem.
takes the 5 silver and gives kind of a little respectful half bow to the 4 of you. And
Wait.
Oh.
Where do I bring the mule in?
I will also ask that when I ask about the madame's things.
All right.
I don't know. All of the doors are very boarded up.
Is the guy with the key in the alley going to look after him, or should I go out there?
I don't know. I was not told. I was just told to lead you here.
Do you know that guy?
I didn't hear the first part clearly.
Do you know that guy?
Which guy? I think that's the part that I missed.
The guy in the alley.
The guy in the
Oh.
alley whenever we showed up who opened the door
Yeah.
that we gave
Oh,
the
yes.
password to.
Oh, he is just one of us. It is a disguise because we are saboteurs.
Oh, honey.
Oh.
A most clever disguise.
Roderick, my dear, I will make sure, if I have to pay out of pocket, to have a door knocked down to bring in your beloved mule, and then I'll have it repaired so that we're all safe, and whatever needs to be done, so that everybody's happy and healthy.
It's fine. I mean, I can fix places like this before. It's no big deal.
That's fair. But we'll take care of it. We'll make sure that your meal's taken care of.
Right. I'll be going now. And just
Thank you.
turns and slowly heads down the stairs. And now you are each left with 3 strangers in a rundown theater with very little idea how you got here.
Hey now, 2 strangers and my friend.
If it is all right with the 3 of you, I'm going to have a seat. I have old
Yes.
bones as well.
Right, yeah, go right ahead. Rest your old bones.
It's a seated position.
I guess if we're going to be traveling together, a couple of things. Flammable, yeah. Don't keep it around me too much. And don't go to sleep, so... Or eat. Or smell.
Very well.
I'm real good at fixing things.
Well, I'm pleased to have you with us then.
Cool.
The big contemplation.
To note, while this was described as your quarters, there are no beds
a
or
theater.
dressers or anything.
Okay.
It
This is going to be
unchanged from being a like theater that's been out of commission for 10 years.
I get injured from sleeping on like an actual bed. God, no, it's like
Which is why Serafina needs her things.
I believe that I will need to make a trip out as well myself. I have some neighbors who I to reassure that they have not disappeared.
I need to get some sticks and leaves.
Young lady, I believe we can probably get something much better for you to sleep upon rather than just sticks and leaves.
Oh, and some hay.
Oh dear.
Hay is very comfortable.
Oh dear. Pawn Air's just like, this poor child. Oh.
But Seraphine, you said you have an instrument. I have an instrument too.
Yeah. What do you play?
It is and Gaia pulls out what looks to be. It looks like a recorder.
Let's go.
And just blows into it, producing the most awful sound that you could imagine.
That is lovely.
Gaia, that is fantastic.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to work with you.
I should make you both
get
roll
through
deception
this.
checks.
That shit.
Do you really want us to do deception?
Sure.
Oof, it's not good. 11.
Well, I'm gonna roll mine at disadvantage. My perception at disadvantage. Because
It's so
Gaia-
you're so trusting.
yeah, she believes she's good as hell.
I rolled a 22. So
That would be insight, not perception. If you want to roll against it,
You
Miss
just shoot.
Gaia.
I'm just not hiding it very well.
10.
10. Nice. Lots of practice lying to children, or what he perceives as children.
Okay.
It is lovely.
I could be in your band.
yes. After we do some practicing.
Okay.
But I'm sure that will get you up to performing quality. And I pull out my in the side pocket that I pulled that silver out of. I pull out a set of bird pipes and start to play some music as well, just to pass the time until the rest of my stuff gets here.
Where are the rest of my things?
Those,
Damn you.
that what you're doing, Serafina, for the next little bit?
I mean, listening to the conversation, sort of noodling on her pipe, the bird pipe.
I must profess that it was the most brief of introductions to the lot of you. I figure if we're going to be working together or traveling together, perhaps we can just discuss amongst ourselves. Yes.
Yes, that makes sense.
Last name Smith. Created by God. Really good at fixing things. On herself. Board maven. All that stuff. Pretty cool. Got some magic things and real good at fixing stuff.
I see.
You know, that's an appropriate response.
I mean,
That was
I
a
could probably
lot.
Fix that back of yours if it's giving you trouble.
Looks
I
at
wasn't afraid or
metal,
anything.
giant metal body. It's quite alright, thank you.
When you said that you're created by God, Gaia just kind of the cheeriness gone for a second and then just back.
I can't help but notice your accents. None of you are local.
No.
Mm-mm.
I've been here half my life, so I guess I'm kind of a local.
I had only heard about your existence over the last.
I've only been
Handful of
away
years
for about
or
a
so.
dozen years.
Oh,
It's a long time for me.
well, where were you before you came to Griffins?
As far as I know, the books.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Woke
honey.
up in a box in a boat, got out, met people, found out I was created by God, and it's pretty cool. Been fixing things ever since.
I see. Well, how about yourself,
Yeah.
Miss Serafina? Yes.
Yes, so I am Serafina, and I came here about 6 months ago, just to refine my talent. You know, you gotta have your start somewhere as a bard, and I was told that this had one of the best guilds for that, so I'm here. And so far, it's been wonderful. I've met some lovely people, many wonderful patrons, and yes, that's why I'm here.
I mean, Glyphon, we have the carnival. It is a wonderful place for a performer.
Yes.
Good choice. Greatest city in the world.
So some say.
They
It's
speak
one of
true.
the top 2 that I've only been to.
And you, young madam.
Oh, and she'll kind of perk up and walk over to you and try to sit on your lap. I lived on my mount, in my cave.
You lived in a
And-
cave.
Yes, on my mount. It was over my miss town, and there were people that lived in that town. There were a lot of trees.
Where do you
Trees
go
are
to school?
good.
What is that?
Like where you learn things and stuff.
Oh, I learned things from my parents. And just kind of
Oh,
pauses.
homeschool thing.
Yes. Kind of
All
sad
right.
now.
Does Serafina see this?
Hmm.
She walks over to you and just like, you're 3. You said you're 3 foot tall.
Mhm.
Unless you tell me no, I'm going to pick you up and like give you a hug, like an adult would with a child, and just kind of like pat you on the back a little,
Well, thank you.
and then put you back down on your feet on the ground.
For context, Serafina, Griffin is where the Sosoros Academy of Performance is, which is the school for bards and performers.
Which is why I'm here.
Greatest city.
Not just one of the, it's the. So
With the best.
Um,
Except for the tyranny part. That's our
yeah, the tyranny
Bit of a
part
blight.
is little bit of a downhill slide, but it is about that time that the door to the stairwell opens and awkwardly the same guy pokes his head in. Miss Serafina, they requested to return, please.
They want me to come down there.
Oh yes, please.
I suppose I'll see you back in a minute, friends.
Okay.
And she sweeps down the stairs.
She's so extra and it's so good.
Oh.
You are led back the same way. And when you get in there, there is only Lifang left.
Okay.
The others seem to have departed. You probably passed Sasha Alvray in the hall on his way out.
If I see him, I give him the most deference since he's the guildmaster.
Or he's the lieutenant guildmaster, he's second in command. So.
Well, but I mean, he's still above me, so I'm still gonna show that deference of
Gotcha.
a
Yeah.
curtsy.
He gives you a shockingly familiar nod, very casual.
Mm-hmm.
more so than he would have in previous meetings.
Okay.
As you get back into the war room, for lack of a better term,
Okay.
there is only Lai Fang sitting up on his chair. I understand that you are needing your things retrieved from the academy.
Yes.
That is easily done. Sacha can have that taken care of. You can expect to have your things delivered to you before this evening falls.
I appreciate that.
However,
Okay.
there is more that needs to be discussed.
Yes.
It is my understanding, via Kiel, that you are an agent for the Sylvan. Don't worry, we won't share this information. All of your little information gathering. We also understand that you negotiated a deal with Kiel that there will be some advantage given to the Sylvan Kingdom for your assistance here. What are you and your people seeking out of this deal? Kiel was not specific.
Mostly knowledge. We are an isolated folk. And we know that there will be a time where my people will be hunted down or are in the process of being hunted down. And I have the distinct privilege of being able to walk past those very people who want to see my family killed.
So, you want information on the Altons, I take it.
Yes.
Anything else? We understand you are already gathering information.
Yes.
He holds up a finger before you start. This is your opportunity to try and secure political clout. I am also a foreigner here. Use this opportunity.
Then what do you suggest that I ask for?
Between the two of us, perhaps influence, should we be successful.
That seems
Not
fair.
that I guided you to this. Of course, you came to me entirely on your own with these demands.
Of course. I mean, you and I both have a similar occupation in terms of dealing with coin. And I have made myself a fairly substantial sum in the short amount of time that I've been here. And so simply I was asking how I could assist you, and it just came up into conversation.
Of course. Shuffles through some papers. How about this? We are having a meeting in the next few days. We try not to meet too often to avoid suspicion, but with this business of recovering a member of our secondary council, the Order of the Dawn, he is clearly unimpressed with the drama of the name. We will be having an additional meeting, and I will bring this up. Perhaps consider demanding a council seat representing the Sylvan people. should we be successful. Entirely your idea, of course, he says, and takes up a teacup and has a sip.
Can I make an insight check on his feelings toward, because my people are a isolated people, and we don't particularly trust many folk.
Sure, go ahead and make that insight check.
Okay.
Hell yeah, trust no one.
Nat 20, friends.
Damn. Okay.
Oh, the second roll of the campaign. That bodes well. Let's go.
Does it bode well, or are you getting top heavy?
I don't know.
While this man is nearly as unreadable as stone, with that nat 20, you will, through the most delicate of body language cues and maybe something in the tone of his voice, there is something legitimately sincere and helpful about him.
Okay.
Just barely detectable, almost out of reach.
So, and with that nat 20, would I also, and this could be a different roll or like a history check or something, if Seraphina asked to be a representative for the Sylvan people, how would other folks respond? Because I don't look Sylvan. I look like a human.
It would probably be a combination of that nat 20 and also just you having been here for a while and having the schooling and skill set that you do have. That probably wouldn't be a speed bump here.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be something you would have to pitch to your superiors within the Sylvan Kingdom.
Okay. Okay. I look at him and go, I will take that with a grain of advisement and appreciate your candor.
Of course. So, is that what I shall be presenting as your demands?
Yes. A council seat, information about those people, and my stuff. I mean, I know that you're bringing me my stuff, but I can't do anything without my loot or my swords.
You are going to have your possessions brought to you.
I know.
And I am sure you can discuss the logistical difficulties of this extensive conversation about getting your stuff with your new companions. I understand Kiel has put both you and us in a bit of a tight spot with his absolute lack of respect or transparency.
Kiel, you know Kiel. He has a flair for the dramatic. You'd think that he was a part of the Bards Guild. But that's neither here nor there, and not my place to say.
He doesn't have the consistency to be a member of the Bardic Guild.
No. No, he does not. Just one more thing, and then I will leave and appreciate your time. We should get some tea and maybe a biscuit to discuss the money side of things. Because I truly do believe in this mission and have the coin to support what I have to say.
Are you telling me that you are not stirred by the fires of revolution in your heart? To risk your life at every turn?
Good sir, I am always stirred by
He
revolution.
is actively smiling when he says this.
by romance, by adventure. It is what I do.
And by the clinking of gold, yes. I understand.
That too. And I think she takes a big, deep curtsy and says thank you for your time, and then sweeps out of the room.
Before you go,
Yes.
at the discussion of gold and payment, I believe there will be a lot of negotiating power on that front. Should you bring... Oh god, I've mind blanked on his name.
Valentine Pascal.
There we go. Valentine back to us. I got a
Well,
bunch
then
of
I
names to
Better
roll
make
through,
sure that
folks.
he gets here safe.
Just nods. I take it you do not need the guide?
I do not. Thank you again.
He just nods.
And she continues out the door.
Clearly the people who are acting as guards here have been notified of the situation, as while you receive a couple of looks, you are not waylaid in any form or even questioned.
I think that Seraphina right now is like in her stride. Is just like waving to everybody. This is all a performance.
So
Everybody's doing so good.
Seraphina's feeling herself right now.
So yeah, you make it back up to the ruined theater with your new information.
And what was that you were doing earlier, young lady? That it was the tree in your hand.
Oh, you mean this? And does cast minor illusion again.
Yeah, yes, that exactly, yes. What did you, where is it that you learned such incredible talents?
Oh, I learned it from my mom.
Oh. She must be a very talented individual.
She was.
My apologies.
She was very good at what she did. She was always very good at tricks.
I'm sure. I'm sure that she was the best. And what about you, my tall friend? What is it all that you can do as well? You mentioned you are also magically inclined. Yes.
Well, I mean, you've probably seen him on fire, so I can do some fire things, and
I have noticed, yes.
like I can fix things like anything. I mean, I don't mean to brag, but if there's something broken, I can fix it. Like this whole room, you know.
We are in the right place then for your skills.
Right. Yeah. But I can do some healing and rough some people up when I need to. So I don't really like fighting, but I'm made out of metal. It helps. Pretty strong. Kind of got skinny arms, but they hit hard. Don't really get too tired. Don't really sleep. Just kind of zone out for a little while. I still hear you talking about me, though. A lot of people don't know that.
I'm sure that will not be a problem among our Kellen's company.
All right.
Everybody seems quite lovely. Those who are a little more grumpy, notwithstanding on that council, perhaps they would be referred to.
Well, Hex is he's a very grumpy cat, but Trump is quite charming. Both of which
Appropriately named.
still staring at you, Apollinaire.
Can I ignore the creepy cats?
So, what happened to your arm there? So, you want me to give that a little look-see?
My arm has not left underneath the cloak.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Only my left arm has been exposed at all this entire time.
My bad.
You good? Delphina, upon return, the meeting goes smoothly. I presume.
Yes, we were just coordinating my things. And you did mention that if we were going to have to be living here, I'm going to negotiate some proper cots because, like you, as much as I love the theater and the theater is my home, I'm not going to sleep on one of those busted pews. It's just not going to happen. So I will make sure that everybody has a space that is suitable to them.
Thank you. Thank you for going ahead and getting that out of the way. I was a little concerned for our living arrangements, I must admit.
So, is there anything else you guys would like to do for the next little bit before we do a brief time skip to Seraphina's things arriving, as well as some other stuff?
Oh, I would be taking a walk to my neighbors who have been so gracious as to house me after my entire livelihood went up in flames.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
So Antoine's going to be heading back down to the fourth layer and letting people know he's not dead, nor will he be.
And collect what little belongings were managed to be salvaged from
Gotcha.
From the wreckage.
This isn't in the fourth layer?
It's on the third.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
back.
okay.
Isn't this where the carnival or whatever is at?
Yeah, there are 4 districts in the carnival, and the
Gotcha.
green district is one of them, or the emerald district.
Before Apollinaire leaves, I think I hand you like 10 silver and say, buy whatever cot, blankets, whatever you want.
I
Whatever
thank
you
but
need.
He's just gonna kind of press the silver back to you. Thank you, but while I have fallen upon some hard times, I am not destitute. Thank you, sir. It is very kind of you.
No, this is not about... Sir,
Yes.
this is not about me giving charity. This is about making the space that we are being forced to live for the foreseeable future comfortable. Now, you do not have to take my money, but since you are leaving temporarily, I don't know your preferences. These fine gentlemen around us do not know your preferences. I would rather you choose the things that you like than leave it to, she takes a deep breath, these children.
Say,
To take
quite
care of.
young.
Wait, who's child?
Gaia, not you,
Well,
my
look
dear.
up-
Not you.
Look up at
You're fine. Not you.
okay.
Well, as you say, as well, I am out. If you would all like to tell me what your preferred sleeping arrangements are, perhaps I could pick them up on my way back.
I'm having most of my things delivered to me, so I am not needing anything.
I'm sorry, my metallic friend. You
Yeah,
said
don't
that you
sleep.
do not sleep.
No.
Do you
There you
any kind of relaxing accoutrement?
go. Sometimes
Perhaps. Just kind of sit. I don't know if any of the
Never-
chairs that are currently here will hold you.
never had a bed that would really last a night on account of it catching fire, you know.
We will look into making sure that there is a proper chair that you can
No.
sit
Not
in
this.
without. These are all.
I'll-
I'm sure
I'll
they are
make
all
it.
rotten.
There's
and
plenty
will
of boards
blade.
and stuff around here. I can make it. It's not a big deal.
See, that's how we're going to have the session 2 TPK, is when he just sets
Oh.
the theater on fire.
Oh God!
Yes.
Can we just-
Sorry.
Can we just buy concrete and like make him a concrete pad?
That's a good idea. I've been trapped in 2 buildings on fire in my life, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. In like a week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
real
and-
quick.
This guy.
Uh, you can find me sticks and hay.
I will play it by ear, and if you are not satisfied, we will revisit it. Okay?
Okay.
Wonderful. Listen, I will return hopefully shortly.
I'm going to find a good spot to take a nap, and that guy is going to use her shapeshifting ability and shapeshift into a winged cat.
What the fuck?
And
Little girl just turned into a cat with wings.
of course, I closed the description. 1 second.
DM,
the,
has Seraphina seen things like this in the Sylvan Wood?
You haven't seen it, but you would know it to be a creature native to Yokur.
Okay. So I don't think Seraphina flinches at this then. Just
Those other cats do that. They look like 3 little girls or something.
And the cat that you see is the same coloration as Guy's hair, of the reds and browns and oranges, calico color, with the left eye being blue and the right eye being green, and some gray fur on her ears. But the wings are quite distinct, of being almost a snowy white with some gray mixed in, and an eye pattern, like a false eye pattern on them.
One of those moths.
That was my intention,
Sick.
was going with like a butterfly or a moth's false eye.
Nice.
Sick nasty.
That's cool.
So, our resident winged cat will be taking a nap. Apollinaire is taking a walk/shopping trip. And what are the rest of you? What are the other 2 of you spending
What?
your time?
No, I mean, like, he just leaves and she turns into a cat with wings. Can you talk when you're a cat? Can you understand me? I mean,
This is a question for the DM, because I have telepathy.
You could communicate with telepathy if you have it, but you are physically identical to a small-sized version of that cat. So he is much larger, by the way,
Big fucking cat.
than most other members of that species. There's like a Labrador-sized cat.
That's a predator.
But you are
What the fuck?
that's
You're
like a little
physically
puma.
Yeah,
identical.
it's like
so
a bobcat with wings. That's terrifying.
so
What?
you don't have human vocal cords. You don't have humanoid vocal cords, so you can only make cat sounds. But if you have a telepathic ability, then yeah, and you can understand just fine.
So with the guy would start meowing, but also look at Roderick and just say, I can talk to you.
fuck, that's weird.
But nobody else hears that.
The rest of y'all just hear.
Oh, I should stop cursing if you're still a girl, not a cat. Or, I don't know. So, he just turned into a cat. That's a thing you do then?
Yes.
Alright. Well, that's fucking cool, cuz. I'm gonna go rip these shitty boards down and prepare them better. Fucking hell.
Wonderful, Roderick. I am so glad that you're here with us.
So Roderick is getting to work unfucking the theater.
Yeah.
All right.
Just pieces just falling off in the distance.
There's gonna be
Forceful,
like
loud, echoing throughout the huge room, hammering.
there's like gonna be neighbors that are like, oh my god, they must finally be renovating that theater that's been closed for years.
go. We gotta put a grand opening sign out front somewhere.
Coming
I'll-
soon.
Yep.
I'll probably bring Coke the Mule and my cart of materials inside. Just big doors. Yeah, we can put them back up. Oh, come on.
Okay,
Pretty
I was getting ready to ask. I was like, how exactly are you going about that? Okay.
Carry the mule up the stairs.
Are you doing anything, or are you just hanging out?
I'm gonna I think direct Roderick since
Hell yeah.
she's familiar with theaters and we're gonna have to live in this. I think she's like, okay, now we have to take care of the dressing rooms for everyone. I think this is where we can all each have our space and to just like vibe on our own, do what we need to do. What do you think, Roderick?
So, just a quick interjection. As y'all are, I guess the two of y'all, casing your new home. In addition to the like balcony area and the stage, there is a back room to the stage that is clearly used for holding props and costume changes and stuff. And a ladder that leads to the roof, which has kind of one of those like rooftop sitting areas. With like the ledge, it's not just like opening up right onto a sloped roof or anything.
Mm-hmm.
My next question would be, when you say you're directing and you're repairing, are y'all rebuilding it as a theater or as a like headquarters? Because those are very different things.
I'm just mostly for the time repairing the outside boardmanship of the windows and things of that nature. Not so much of renovating it and like putting up fresh wallpaper or anything like that. Or
I didn't know if you
pure
were
function.
repairing. I know if you were repairing furniture and stuff. So
No,
you're fixing the boards. All right. Cool.
Yeah. I don't have like a upholster and stuff like that with me to like.
What?
I didn't know if you had like
Why not?
mending or something.
You know, sitting there going ear, with magic, like magic spit sound.
Mending.
He's doing it the old-fashioned way.
Every minute of this board will become pristine.
Oh my goodness.
We're getting there. Hell yeah. All right.
So, a few hours later,
Damn.
unless Apollinaire, were you wanting to
My knees.
go through that? Okay.
No, just went, notified my neighbors that I've found living accommodations for now. Thank them for their generosity. Pick up my like satchel of what stuff I was able to retrieve from my burnt down livelihood, and head back and on my way. Just I guess I'm only trying to find stuff for myself and a 3-foot tall cat girl.
Who wants twigs and leaves? So,
Yeah, I'm an old man. I'm gonna pay some strapping young lad to who pulls a cart or something for a living to cart bedding to this fucking
I
place.
thought you were gonna say to illegally chop down some bush in the city.
No, I'm not gonna ever sleep in fucking leaves and twigs. That's horrible. Upon just like this young woman has had just the worst. Like her mom's dead. Her fucking she thinks beds are twigs and leaves and stuff. This is awful. I must help the child. Get her an actual sleeping bed.
Apollinaire, you can do that bedding shopping.
I am
as you see fit.
I'm working on it. I'm haggling, whole 9 yards.
Roll me a
Roll for old man pity. I'm the elderly.
I am the elderly. That is my superpower.
I'm old. Yeah, I actually don't have any class levels, guys. It's just I'm just an old man. I'm just an old guy.
It's about to be a much more intense campaign. Than
Yeah,
I
you
thought
guys
it was
better
gonna
watch
be.
out. A stiff breeze will kill me.
He said, "Hold on, I gotta do my arthritis roll."
He said 4 hit points. I'm at 3.
Con
Oh.
saving throw for my back going out on me.
Roll me a quick Persuasion.
Persuasion. I'm good at that. Yeah.
After 1, you only get sticks and leaves.
Bro,
Why
did
would you
roll
say
a
that
nat
out
one?
loud? I quite literally rolled a natural 1.
Sticks and leaves.
My first 2 rolls this campaign have been a 3 and a natural.
It cost you.
It just comes in the futures now, old man.
That's the fucking what it is. Apparently.
You are apparently like
Stubborn
the
shopkeepers.
stress is getting to you
Oh.
or something.
Dude, arm
It-
hurts, back hurts, leg hurts.
20
legs
silver
hurt,
for the
just
betting.
Awful. Oh god. Highway robbery. Very well. I will pay the man.
That is double the normal price. So,
Sweet. Jesus. Okay. Noted.
Everyone's out here getting beds to literally leave in 2 days.
Hey man. Presumably we'll be back. Unless things just go really poorly, and then
Yeah,
it won't.
or-
Then it won't matter anymore. Like
it'll be a very short campaign. And it's fine.
totally fine. Jesus.
So yeah, eventually, a different. I'm just gonna call them guards. Or. No,
They're still guards. They're just not very well trained ones. Like they
Like,
are.
I feel well,
guards.
it's like it's technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. So another one comes up. Oh, madam, just looking at the mule that is inexplicably in the theater at this point.
Yes.
I have come to tell you your things are here.
Wonderful.
And to see what else y'all needed that we could provide. Still looking at the mule.
Pay no mind to the mule. Roderick, what is your mule's name?
Coke.
Coke? Pay no mind to Coke. He's just here. It's fine.
I understand. This is clearly above his pay grade, so he's just gonna kind of like shift attention. So we have a little bit more information for you about the rescue.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
It will take them, and he like kind of like walks over to one of the broken benches or whatever, and takes out a handful of papers that are just tied together with string. It has the route they will be taking, and information about the guards for the caravan. It is not really a caravan. It is 2 wagons. One of them is the prison wagon.
Well, thank you so much for that information.
You can use this information?
Of course we can. Any information is good information.
Good. Do you need me?
No, my dear, you can go back to whatever you were doing.
I was just guarding the stairs, but downstairs.
Okay.
Okay, let me know.
I will. Thank you so much.
Seraphina is so positive it almost makes my teeth hurt.
Yeah.
She's
When
so
you're-
nice.
Oh, here's the thing though. I'm a bard, and I have a forward-facing personality.
That's true.
So
We have
awkwardly
been on the entire time here, so.
he awkwardly one-handed wave and heads back downstairs, pulling the door shut. Yes. Oh, I thought you were getting ready to say something.
No, I just sighed.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Have
It's
I made it back yet with the beds?
approximately now, yes. It's
Hell
within-
yeah.
Within a minute or so. It will take you another 20 minutes to get up the stairs by yourself, though. I apologize.
It is what it is.
Joking.
Hey man, I just like waved off like, oh, there are some of those the less fortunate who are inhabiting this theater right now. I'm doing what I can to aid them. If you could just help me unload unload this thing. This is to the fucking dude who I paid to bring this stuff here. Yeah. Helping out.
He's not
I
wrong,
am
though.
the needy. I am the needy. Don't worry.
With a 5 on that insight check, he
Wow.
just looks. Did you roll another nat 1?
I rolled a natural 20.
Oh,
Yeah, go.
I just like to carry that natural 20 into talking the young guardsmen who are here to assisting me getting up the stairs.
I will
I
say they assist you, and the
Leverage.
young cartier who helped you bring everything over is just overwhelmed at the grace someone like you is showing in helping these less fortunate people. Just
I say.
he almost tears up a little. You are doing the Lord's work, whichever Lord he worships. There's several.
So saintly right now.
Yeah. Just this is really putting an unused building to a good use, helping people. You are truly a good person.
Oh, I know. Don't worry. We're good. Yeah.
You lying liar!
You are lying. It's not wrong. We already covered that 3 out of the 4 of us that are living up there are homeless right
Okay.
now.
You misleading misleader.
It's a white lie. You know, sometimes white lies what you got to do
So
in the what I don't need the hospitality
mhm,
department. Got to do what you got.
you get all of the blankets and stuff. It's a padded quilt, a couple linen sheets,
Righteous.
a straw pillow for each. Let me toss my d20.
Sick
I'm
nasty.
gonna pull an Ian and throw my d20 across the room.
Constantly. All the time.
Losing it on
It
the
is
floor.
not just my D20s either. It is all of them. They go
just
into the wild blue yonder.
should just flip the whole table then. But yes, and while they're at it, they will help bring up your accoutrement as well, Seraphina.
Huzzah! What timing?
I think that she's just very gracious. Of like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, everybody. This is gonna be
Load of
truly
ritzy,
fantastic.
load of ritzy homeless people in here.
Well,
Well,
those were waiting in the antechamber, not outside the alley.
I could frame that as I'm performing for the poor and desolate. It's a charity concert for the downtrodden.
This guy's gonna go out and let everyone know that all of the poor people in town should come to this concert, and it's gonna be an interesting situation.
Please don't do that.
That sounds like a lot more people.
You know what? You
devoted to
should-
the cause, just like
You
that.
should tell them that you're performing in 2 days. You're just not even there.
And to vanish.
While y'all are... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I would only say that if someone questioned why I was there.
No, no one who doesn't have one of the tokens is allowed at all into the antechamber. So, you have to explain yourself to nobody, unless you just want to the guards.
No.
And it is explained to you that any modifications that you also desire may be made to the theater. They used the word any. How you choose to interpret that is up
Noted.
to you.
Take note of that information. Yeah. Come upstairs with all this crap. All the crap. Your stuff and bedding.
If someone lets me know, I will go downstairs and grab my own things, particularly my instruments.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Can't let anybody mishandle. dear God, they'll be out of tune.
You dropped a mandolin down 3 flights of stairs.
How'd they drop it? They were going up the stairs. They just dropped them on their way up. They dropped them up 3 flights of stairs. That's even more impressive.
That's impressive, actually. So, we are just a few minutes away from break. Did y'all want to look at the packet before, or wait till after we get back?
The packet?
I think
The stack of
the
papers
information.
that the
Information that we got.
Oh.
Yeah. Done either way.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm game for either.
Let's go ahead and go over it real quick then
Hell
before we get on
yeah.
break. Give y'all time to think about it. Y'all can be processing. It is not a whole lot, I suppose. Some of you may have been hoping for more, but it does include a map. Technically, it was absolutely hand-drawn by one of these people.
Great.
And seems to function primarily by way of labeled landmarks. Like spiky bits, circle, griffin, circle, altus, wiggly line, border.
Hell yeah.
With a handful of other,
Lovely map.
like
Really?
a village here or there, a small hill that has a memorial on it, that one labeled, and it shows the general route that it will take. It shows where the caravan will be leaving its guard from the city behind, and it shows where it will be picking back up a reception guard on the Alton side, a few miles outside of the border with Altus. Additionally, it has the information that, I'm going to talk very slowly so I can pull up.
That works out perfectly because I don't write that fast.
Awesome.
So we're good.
It is being led by Lieutenant Ludovic Gallo, guarded by, and this is not including the guards they will be leaving behind at the Griffin border, or the guards they would be picking up at the Alton border. The caravan will be traveling with 24 men-at-arms.
That's a lot of dudes.
It is a lot of dudes. And they are being accompanied by a Knight of the Circle of Eternity of unknown identity.
Is what the Circle of Eternity is, are Knights of the Circle of Eternity common knowledge as to their general, like, thing? Like, are they known entities?
They are known entities as basically like the Knights of the Church of Altus. For lack of a better word, they are paladins.
Okay.
They are known for being, let's see. Actually, go ahead and y'all roll me let's say a knowledge history check.
Hell yeah, brother. Quite literally.
Can we roll untrained?
No.
16.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually,
I was
because you've been in the city for this specifically, I'll say yes.
Hell yeah.
Dirty 20.
gonna- 6.
All right. You're very
19.
far away. You were in Violin until very recently. So what were the other three? It was 6, dirty 20, 19,
I got a 16.
16. Okay.
Hell yeah.
So it's fairly common knowledge that they are notorious witch hunters, meaning they are the legends say they are impervious to magic, but most of those stories one can assume are blown out of proportion. But there are, many records of them capturing and killing spellcasters and magical creatures. So they have to have something going for them.
Ew. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think when Seraphina sees the name of them, she spits on the ground and says a curse.
Also, these are the ones that are used to hunt down elves. So
A reasonable action. Unkind folk.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Guy would have switched back once we started this, but who are they?
Ooh, my dear Gaia. They do not like folks like us. And, well, they all can go burn in hell. But that's neither here nor there.
They don't like women?
Well, that any of us who can do a little bit of magic, any of us who are different, look different, act different, just... I don't even have words. That's how angry I am right now.
But why? Magic is fun.
It is. And you and I both know the joy and benefits of it. But these folks are bigoted and imbecilic. And that's all I'm going to say about this.
Wait, so this is going into Altus?
It would seem that
okay.
way.
Well, that's going to be an issue. I mean, those guys kind of want to kill me, I'm pretty sure.
I believe that. I unfortunately believe yes, you fall into the realm of being they consider unacceptable. Yes.
Right. Well, I mean, maybe a little bit more so. I accidentally, with my friend a little while back at Alcadrum, me and her, we kind of accidentally crossed the border, and I kind of like toasted a few of them. It was a little weird.
Well, I do not think that they're very nice. So I don't see much of a problem taking this man away from them.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
to clarify, all 24 of the men-at-arms and the lieutenant are also Alton. It is only the knight that is a circle of the knight of the circle of eternity.
Right. But it is common knowledge that Alton's as like a general group share a lot of those feelings, right?
That's their whole they have basically
that's like
a
their
theocracy.
whole thing. Yeah.
That's their religion, and because they believe that all magic is
Bad.
the realm of their god of
Oh,
the
yeah.
circle of eternity,
That's right.
and it belongs to them, and that any use of magic outside of his specific clerics is theft, and that any sentient creature outside of humans are abominations and, you know, equivalent to demons. So
I can assure you, I steal my magic from somewhere else entirely. I've got like a fucking contract and everything on paper.
it says
It's
paperwork.
official.
It's official. I've got the.
So
Show me
as
the
y'all sit around these documents, gathering what very little precious information they have for you, we will go ahead and go to break.
Ow.
So we will see you guys here in about 15 minutes.
Hell yeah.
Don't stray too far. Grab some food, snacks, caffeine if you need it. God knows I will. And we'll see you shortly. Sayonara.
Bye.
All right, and welcome back from break,
Hi.
viewers, fans, and anyone else who is watching. I guess bitterly, if you're not a viewer or a fan. We have in the first half of the session introduced our protagonists. Again, still hesitant to use heroes, and introduce them to their new home, which is a rundown theater. And that is where we left off, with them getting an information packet about their mission, although it was not exactly top-notch intel. As they headed upstairs with their overpriced blankets, college accoutrement, and a distinct lack of twigs and leaves, I will hand you guys the floor.
So are we just currently just pulled up on a bunch of shitty chairs, like trying to look this packet over? Is that what I'm gathering here?
That's what I'm envisioning with what I've been told so far.
I must profess that these military matters are not something that I am familiar with, but 24 plus guardsmen does sound like a lot for the four of us, yes?
That is correct.
Okay, just
Right,
wanted to be
yeah.
sure that
I am not a fighter. I do not fight. So
Well, frankly, this is going to have to be more stealth than full force. I know what I'm capable of. I can assume what our dear Roderick is capable of. Yeah,
just
Yeah.
one hand.
Pretty much.
You smash things, perhaps.
Yeah, I'd
But-
say over the short time that you saw Roderick like hammering things, he didn't hit the hammer on nails more than once.
right. No, that's. I think
Oh,
that
hell
that's what she was implying. We also have to be careful that we don't get caught by any of these assholes. Because, I don't know about you, but we'll be in bigger trouble than just getting caught. We'll all be executed. Just on the spot.
5 for the price of 1.
Nice.
Right, yeah. Not too in the market for that.
Indeed, that is, of course, to be avoided at all costs.
I'm not very inconspicuous, so what's the plan, I guess?
DM, I have a question. Do you think that Serafina could get some intel from her outside contacts in regards to, even if it's just a better map?
When you say outside contacts, do you mean like your homeland contacts, or do you mean your academy contacts?
My homeland contacts.
Seeing as I guess this is probably something we should have covered beforehand, and it did not even occur to me. I was imagining you sending your reports back via like Bird or something along those lines.
Okay.
So yes, but probably not within the 2-day time frame, seeing it is more than a 2-day trip to get to the border.
Right. That's what I was thinking, but you never know.
Right, yeah. Sorry, definitely something we should
Always
have covered
worth
beforehand.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Maybe my same question with guild. Would my guild have better maps just because of where we travel?
Yes, so while a full map would probably be expensive, you could probably get one maybe with the 5-finger discount from someone you know, with a little bit of, asking or bribery or something. So you'd have to roll for it, but yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely within the realm of possibility.
Okay. All right.
I have a question. Is it visibly evident that Serafina is dismayed with the amount and quality of information that this packet contains?
Oh, 100%.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's important that she knows that like the number of people, but when you're doing a stealth mission, like knowing where the hidey holes are, or if there's a delta or a cave or a grove of trees, like all of that is helpful to a sneak mission.
Right. So it's kind of, as we're looking over this, just looking at Seraphina's face. I take it that this seems to be matters you are more familiar with. This is not good. Just gesturing at the packet.
It is suboptimal.
It is suboptimal. Okay, very well. I
Oh,
see.
that's not an incorrect statement.
But we gotta get this guy out of the caravan, right? So we can't just like set it on fire. But,
That sounds like a bad idea.
right.
To be.
Yeah.
Hey, we killed all his guards. We do have some other news though.
He is slightly crispy,
Yeah.
but we have him.
I can make it so one of you can't be seen.
That sounds quite useful in a mission requiring more stealth, as you are proposing.
Let me see. And she opens up kind of a birch-covered book, birch and compressed grass book. Kind of starts flipping through it. I can create some fog, but not too much. And ooh, I can make one of you smaller, like me.
That might be helpful with you, Roderick, as much as I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, while you are on fire, I mean, if you are a smaller and on fire, less visible. No, or invisible. If you said you could turn him invisible, was that kind of?
Yeah, sure.
Then-
I mean, I'll go for anything.
I mean, that sounds quite useful. Yes.
All right.
Okay, alright, I got it. You do your cat thing, turn into a cat. You just wander on in and be your friendly cat. And then in the middle of the night, you bust them out.
Is she not a
Take
cat
away.
with wings, though?
That.
Right?
That is, I mean, no offense, my dear, but that is uncommon would be an understatement in this place, in this city, and outside of it, I imagine.
Zolters don't like bird cats.
Yeah.
I would not want to be near them for too long either.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
I mean, perhaps there's some type of distraction for the majority of these guards, and somebody who has been made invisible by Madame Gaia could enter and whisk away Monsieur
Yeah.
Pascal.
A distraction could work to lead most of the guards away.
Yes.
Apollinaire, that is an excellent idea. The question is, it would need to be big enough to do, and also like a big enough threat to pull even half of those folks away.
Just while saying that, like, Apollinaire's going to kind of glance over at Gaia's, like, her little birch and compressed grass book, and just kind of unconsciously kind of lightly touch the satchel that he has kind of hanging at his side, and just, the skills that I perhaps bring to the table may be well suited to such a thing.
Okay.
See, flashy and destructive in nature.
What you mean?
You said you do things with fire as well. I can do something similar, I imagine.
Are you wizard too?
No.
Well, I can do magic, and a little girl can do magic, Gaia, and you do magic, and you do magic too. Did we all get chosen because we were magic?
I think that Seraphina looks over at you and picks up her lute and goes, "You can do a little magic."
All right.
Absolutely shredding guitar solo.
I mean,
Fucking military.
if you want, I have shatter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, DM, I think I'm just gonna like direct at some of the like busted up things and just start to play. And
Are you casting Shatter?
I'm gonna cast shatter on some of the just as a. I'm so mad right now about this entire situation. I gotta do something
All
and
right,
just
cool.
start like. And it's like soothing music. It sounds very relaxing, and then just like boom, like like a bunch of chairs just like disintegrate.
All right, yeah, so that's exactly as she described it. Just some calm, lilting music, and then just chairs and shards of wood and splinters just explode outward. You can hear a couple people outside, like a horse and cart, like horse neighing, and someone going, "What the fuck?"
It sounds like a phone now outside.
Oh, I mean, there you go. I mean, you do that to a wagon wheel, it's not going anywhere.
Yes, that's very impressive. Yes, that if we need to like stop them from fleeing, that would be ideal. Yes.
Yes.
Is everything okay? We heard a loud noise.
Everything is fine, my friends. We're just discussing the things that we need to do for
Oh,
our friends.
I understand. Carry on. Just kind of like takes his makeshift short sword and goes back downstairs. He had it like at the ready, but not held correctly at all.
Yes.
You-
We're okay. You're fine. You can go back down.
Yes. Just goes, shuts the door.
Your customer face is astounding. Very
What I have
impressive.
to do.
I found 2 more things that I can do that may help us. I can and Guy's gonna run to the other side of the room, and then it's not prepared. She's gonna try to cast the vortex orb, but fail because it's not prepared. And just kind of look upset and be like, oh, well, that was supposed to work. I can make you over there come over here with one of my spells. And then,
Wait. What do you mean? How does that work? Like, you get in their head, make them walk over there.
no, you kind of just poof, and you're here.
Instantly.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Wow,
That's interesting.
that sounds phenomenal and terrifying to perhaps behold.
It's very
Well,
fun.
I mean, there we go. Job's finished, right? She does her blow the hole in the side of the cart, and you just teleport him out this cage, and we run like fuck.
Was there not be any of these gods perhaps be mounted on
Yeah.
horseback?
Set them on fire.
Also,
That is not clarified in the paperwork.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a caravan. Yes, there's usually, I know, merchant trains usually have some mounted guardsmen, at the very least.
I think we should prepare for the worst case scenario of everybody having horses.
Oh.
Everybody having beefed up weapons because they're them. And praying to whatever entity that you have that gives you solace that we return.
That is Glim.
I can
All
also
right.
make them
Oh.
think that they do not like each other.
That sounds
Interesting.
quite useful. Like all of them?
No, I can only do one person at a time. I used to in my town. I used to make people do that. They would fight for a little bit. Nobody got hurt too badly.
So that is very potentially dangerous to be doing to just innocent folk.
Well, it was okay. Everybody had laughs.
Insight check.
Not everybody had laughs.
Yeah.
Eh,
Yeah, insight.
5 plus. Not much, I don't think.
Fuck, I have deception. I have
23.
disadvantage on deception.
I got 23.
7. You're just
I
such a
dropped a
sweet little
natural
girl.
20
oof.
On
for a
deception.
19.
19. Oh,
So,
I mean, you're such a. I'm sure that it was a good laugh. You are.
Seraphina, you feel like there might be some exaggeration there.
But here's the thing. Seraphina doesn't care. Because frankly, if Gaia can get into the head of at least one to cause division, especially amongst these paladins, or the Knight of the Circle, Eternity, whatever the hell they're called,
Oh, yeah, that'd be.
that gets us an in. I think that's where she looks at Gaia and goes, that is where we start.
Is it perhaps you said you can only do this to one? Are you only able to make them fight? I do not know how Crown of Madness works.
Yes,
exactly.
it is
Consult
not Crown
their
of
spell
Madness.
It is not Crown of Madness. Oh.
It is enemies abound.
Ah, okay. If it is okay. I forgot about that one. I was going to say because if you were able to exert any kind of more, perhaps fine control. If not make them fight, you could make them say, "Go over there and look! I heard something," and all of you fuck off.
Right. No.
And then we'd be. But if it is only able to make them fight, I mean, that can still cause chaos. Because I imagine if we can create some kind of distraction, that will only get so many of them away from the caravan, and that your madness, you're making them fight each other, could distract the rest, so that the monsieur could be extracted from his cage.
Yes. All right. I don't know what all of you would like to do tonight, but I say that we sleep on this. I'm going to try to get a better map.
That would be. I mean,
Well-
that sounds like it'd be quite useful.
Yes.
Alternatively, we could just like leave early in the morning and get ahead of them, and then have something set up on the way.
But that would not. That might require this better map. Is it you're
Right.
looking
Yeah,
to
sure.
acquire myself? You know. Yes. I mean, this is a whole caravan. We should move faster than them, as only 4 people, regardless.
Sure.
Right.
Which, Dungeon Master, is it included? Do we know when this caravan is departing Griffin?
That is literally what I was getting ready to drop in
Okay.
the chat.
Perfect.
If you think of it as today is day 1,
Uno.
caravan departure is day 3.
Okay.
And they'll
Oh,
be-
okay. So yeah, we got
Yeah,
it. Okay.
so they'll be leaving before noon on day 3. So I thought I had
where-
already clarified that. I apologize.
And they are leaving where?
They're leaving from Griffin's main gate.
Oh,
They are
Okay.
I
currently
like that. Oh.
yeah, they are currently located at the jail, which is in the first layer.
So that they'll exit and head towards the Alton border. Okay.
Okay.
So that is, I mean, say on that's going to be departing for another couple of days anyway. If you are able to get a better map, then I mean, with whatever, it sounds like something that you are much more comfortable with the preparations for. Madame Serafina. That sounds wonderful to me.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're leaving here, and we've got a couple of days to prepare, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff we could do.
Such
You're not wrong.
I mean, like,
what other things would be?
if you can do that sound thing to maybe spook horses, and I put, little spiky bits down the road, and it messes up to their hooves and stuff, and they might be able to chase us. I don't know.
And just some session 1 gimmies. I'll go ahead and remind you, it was mentioned to you when they depart Griffin, they will be accompanied by a Griffin auxiliary guard.
Right, but they'll be dropping those off before the border.
Yes.
But then they'll be picking up more Alton guards at the border.
Yeah, there'll be an intermission period
Where it's just the 24.
where it's just the 24. It
Right.
is not clarified in the paperwork where the drop-off and pickup is.
Oh,
You-
okay.
You named a separate guy, the guy that was leading this group that was separate from
Yes.
the Knight of the Circle of Eternity.
Ludovic
And-
Gallo.
Yeah. Does that name mean anything to anybody here who's like actually been around, who's been in the city for any period of time?
Apollinaire and Roderick may roll Roderick at disadvantage. This will just be a D20 plus proficiency.
Oh. That does not bode well for me. Okay.
This is kind of
Oh,
a luck,
it's bad.
check, as it were.
I say like Serafina is like it's gathering information. It's like her whole shtick, isn't it?
It's just
Also, he's
having
Gotcha.
been around for.
Gotcha. Okay. 8. I got nothing. I
8.
imagine. Nada.
What was Roderick's roll?
10.
How did you roll better than me at disadvantage?
They are. It is not a name that sticks out to either of you immediately.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that leads me to my next statement in character of perhaps this gentleman who is leading the party. If we could locate information on who he might be. I can't say the name rings a bell particularly, but if he is, I mean, if they felt it was important enough to give us his name, perhaps something can be found that could help. Because maybe he is like cripplingly afraid of bats or something that would really spook him.
I mean, I can ask my connections in the city. I don't have much hope, but I can ask.
It is not, of course, it is not too much of an imposition. If it is going to be too little juice for the squeeze, as they say, then maybe not. But if it is relatively minor effort, then
Mm-hmm.
oh, very well.
I'm not very much of a people person.
I'm sure that you are lovely.
I'm always up to making friends.
Unfortunately, I don't think any of these fellows will be becoming our friends in the near future.
They wouldn't appreciate you, darling.
This is true. Well, so we are going to see if further information can be gathered on the morrow.
Mm-hmm.
And we can further plan from there.
Yeah, I'll try to get stuff before noon tomorrow.
All right. I can make no guarantees. I'm sure I could ask something of some of the residents of the Force Layers.
Mhm.
As friendly folk, if they happen to know any random piece of information about the goings on. Was the capture of Valentine Pascal, was that public knowledge at all? Was that something that's been
No.
flaunted?
You've never heard the name, and it was not publicized.
Gotcha. I'll say that. So they're trying to keep it under wraps. Interesting.
I will say that the export of prisoners to Altus for execution has been a thing since the establishment of the governors, as Griffin does not do capital punishments.
Yeah, because we're awesome.
Yeah, but we
well,
still
I mean-
send our prisoners.
Yeah, hey, man, that's the governors. That's not a Griffin thing. We've
and
existed without that for a much longer than we have.
Karothi and Zorjin both have publicly stated that it is unpalatable.
See,
Um,
Eugene may be
so
nothing
it's-
but sand, but you know what's up.
Yeah, so that's a definitely a thing.
Gotcha. Wild. This
Just
Origins
gonna have to like insert occasional like lore tidbits and exposition.
Exposit, man.
Wah.
All right.
Well, I mean, maybe one of us could get in the caravan with them as like another prisoner and get in there to break out.
I would make one be guaranteed a spot within this caravan, though.
I don't know.
Roderick, I wouldn't want anybody subjected to the kind of terror that these people would do to any of us.
Oh, I was volunteering myself.
Roll a oh god. The only person I think that this would be able to roll this would be Seraphina. If you want to roll all these knowledge history checks, but yeah, go ahead and hit me with another
man.
knowledge history check.
Okay.
Knowing your history is important.
Hey, it's what happens in a planning session, I guess.
19.
19.
Nice.
The Knights of the Circle notoriously have a way to bind the magic of their prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's bad.
You don't know how, you just know that they regularly have captured
Not.
people capable of magic, and they haven't really done magic to get out, so...
Right. Well, and I think Seraphina is just thinking about the horror stories that she's heard about, like, magic gets bound and then you're just abused. Like, they treat you terribly along the... Like, this is all like, rumor and superstition and the boogeyman, for lack of a
Seraphina,
better
they're not
term.
abused, they're interrogated. There's a difference.
All
Well,
I can
growing
think
up- Seraphina, these are the boogeyman. These are the terrors
These
of the
would-
dark.
Absolutely would be the boogeyman for Seraphina, yes.
all I can think of is for the rest of us, just relative ignorance is, waterboarding at Guantanamo Bay sounds really fun if you have no idea what either of those things are. That sounds great.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Is that perhaps sounds like an unwise plan. Last resort if everything else seems to go very poorly, perhaps.
Well, I feel like last resort is probably I run out in front of the caravan and say, "Oh, I'm going to kill you all. I'm a dead man. You can't catch me." And then you bust them out and they chase after me.
Okay, perhaps that it is like second to last plan. If it really seems that it to be that bad. Alright.
Roderick saying this is giving Seraphina like deep heartburn. Just like
And just Potter's just gonna look over at Stephanie like I'm very sure that information that you are able to cast out tomorrow this will all be much more comfortable with this operation. Everything seems better after on a new day. It's time to sleep on it and really work out the problems in your head while you sleep. Yes.
yes.
It's fine. Okay.
any other conversations or actions for the evening?
Here's better map. Here's some stuff about the named dude. This seem to be the two big pieces of information that we may want to look into.
I can't think of anything. I think
Yeah.
we've covered all the stuff we can right now.
I believe so. That sounds about right to me.
If we're not doing anything else for the rest of the day, Guy will go and find some sticks and
Oh my god.
some straw and whatnot.
My deal is this. Like, hold on, look at this. Look at what I This is what I bought for you up here. It's like, look, it is a small. It is very much softer than sticks in leaves and such. You know, it's like show her like the smaller bedding that I acquired. Like, look, you see, it's a pillow. It is very, you know, it's quite soft. Look, just have it lay down. I'm sure that you'll find it is much more pleasant.
Guy will lay down on it, kind of
Is it-
like roll around like a cat, trying to, you know, get her scent all over it.
In your human form,
Yeah,
rolling around. Okay.
God.
and then look Apollinaire in the face
See, she must be all comfortable, no?
and start casting invisibility on herself.
I mean,
And then go and get some sticks and straw.
make
Children
me
are
an
children. Just
investigation
let her
check
Of course it is.
at advantage.
But it's just kind of like little like disappointed old man face. But of course it is. But ultimately, whatever makes happy, I'm sure that she'll be a ball of energy regardless.
Apollinaire, you spent years being the fucking father for a whole street full of kids.
Yeah, it's
so
like,
this is kind of like
no,
a little bit par for the course.
Yeah, it's like I mean, it's still a little disappointing, but I mean, you know, you can't. She'll come around and be fine.
I'm
Seraphina
curious.
looks knowingly at Apollyon, going, children.
I said, indeed, it is farewell. And she'll do as she may, of course. Which we have no indicator that Guy is actually a child. Like we have no clue how old she is.
For all you know,
We
she's
just know she
older
is
than
3
all of you.
feet tall. We're all just like, you are short, therefore you're a kid.
I mean, here's the fact of the matter is everybody's a child to Seraphina because everybody is younger than she is. So
No.
For the record, actually, Seraphina would have the most experience with changelings because there are a royal fuckload of them in the Sylvan Kingdom. So
That makes sense.
this is exactly par for the course for a changeling, by the way.
mhm.
I'm
Kyle
curious. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
will build her nest on top of the bed, though.
Amazing.
It is getting use of some kind. I will not complain.
I'm curious
Meet them
about where.
halfway.
What is y'all set up here in the theater? Who's where? How are you setting up your space? What's y'all's nesting procedure? In some cases more literally than others.
So it's just like a regular one big room and then smaller rooms in the back behind the stage.
Yeah, so it's one big square room with the double doors leading to the front outside that are super boarded up or re-boarded up since you
So,
tore them down to bring the donkey in.
so there's not like a lobby area, or is
No.
it just kind of like in the back of the main room?
This was not a super fancy theater.
Okay.
This
think-
is not a rich man's theater. So it's a big like auditorium style room with the stage, side doors, you know, exit stage left and right that lead to a back area, and then the balcony. With
Okay.
For the
the
richer
stairs.
folk.
Yeah.
I see.
I'll take the big room.
So you're
We're
taking
in the big room.
Exactly. I'll just
You can't
be out
claim
there.
this whole room, you motherfucker.
That's where I'll be.
I'll make sure and have an actual blueprint for you guys before next session.
I think. Hey, we'll start. I
It's-
mean, bling this place out.
It's me and Coke taking the main room, okay?
So of the 2 rooms,
Of the big room, the auditorium, we'll just
Right.
stay in there. Well, you're gonna put a mule in the doorway in one of the back rooms?
why not? Good Lord. Okay. I mean, yeah, probably.
Living with a mule.
Yeah, it
That's
makes
hilarious. I do not foresee that at all, and it is easily my favorite part of the session so far.
I think Seraphina's gonna like grab the majority of her things and go up to the balcony, and she has many like extra blankets and things, and sort of like pins up sort to like create sort of a walled off area.
You'll have to spend some time like shuffling out like broken glass,
That's
chairs, all sorts of stuff.
God.
I don't know if you've ever seen like abandoned like buildings and stuff. It is not a pretty
it's
scene.
bad.
No, like literally, like that's why it's like she's gonna like pop up her cot, like clean out the area that like she needs, and then puts like a blanket to block off the other half that she's like doesn't want to see, and is just like trying to find some zen me time to calm down from hearing about these boogeymen that she's gonna have to deal with.
Gotta find your peace in the absolute urban ruin. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What about the rest of you?
I will
Roderick.
sleep.
Oh, go ahead.
Rock, paper, scissors, go.
Roderick will continue repairing everything until folks
we
tell him to shut the fuck up.
Sick.
There you go.
Got it.
Okay.
All right. Gaia will sleep underneath the stairs to the balcony.
I guess that is Apollinaire will take that. We'll go to the stage left and stage right room, like that little back area. We'll just
The prop room.
Yeah, I'm an old man. I get my own room. Let's go.
It's
Respect
got
your
some
elders.
tables. It's
baby.
basically a rectangle. So because it's just like one long room on the back. It's got a couple like clothing racks, tables, maybe some of the heads that like wigs are supposed to rest on. Actually kind of creepy probably when you think about it.
Probably so.
Um,
He's just gonna make the best of it and be like, oh, I mean, if you add some lighting in here, I'm sure it would be a lovely room, very. Yeah. He's gonna just mutter to
Very
himself, like,
dot,
this
dot.
could be fixed up. I'm sure it'd be very lively under the right circumstances.
Something about that.
Yeah.
It has that no windows appeal that just really
Yep.
speaks to.
Yeah, just like, yep, I'm
Mhm.
sure that is it can be we can make it, yeah, it can work. Yeah, just clear out a space like as Seraphina is having to do up in that balcony area to just kind of lay out the bedding stuff. Doing somewhere. Oh, you muted yourself, DM.
As our protagonists are laying down, we can go ahead and close it out for the evening with a little bit of an early finish.
If we're closing out, I have one last
Sure.
little tidbit. Just as everybody's kind of going to sleep, Apollinaire is going to gets all his stuff set up and just kind of, lays himself down for probably like after everybody's gone about it, is listening for however long it takes till Roderick eventually kind of stops his thing. It seems like everything's kind of quieted down, and then he'll get up out of his bedroll, find himself found a chair that he had set aside that seemed whole earlier, next to one of these tables, and is going to take out some like sewing needles and things, as well as like just some bits of fabric and stuff, and will sit himself down, create like a little bit of a light with like maybe a candle or something with prestidigitation, and will spend the night alternating between trying and probably failing for the most part to sew / embroider with his very crippled, heavily burned right hand, and reading his Book of Shadows because he also does not sleep.
I forgot about that. All right. Which actually leads me to. There's a couple times just out of the corner of your eye, Apollinaire, as you are working on this. The shadows seem a little darker, more sinister, and you don't like it. It's nothing you see solid. It's like that out of the corner of your eye, but when you turn to look, it's just a mannequin head or, a broken chair or something.
Why is this a horror movie? All of a sudden? Okay. Yeah, just kind of. It is good. I am not sleeping anyway. It's fine.
Any other last actions for the evening from anybody? I know that Roderick is repairing things until someone tells him to shut up. You've got your little pillow fort / cubicle going on the balcony. There, Seraphina. And you're just nesting, Gaia? Nothing else, just curled up?
Gaia would, before she settles in for the night, would just kind of creak open the door into Apollinaire's room without looking in, tap onto the floor, and cast light, and just have a pink light there for the duration of the spell, and then go back to bed.
All right. You inexplicably receive the gift of a pink light for, I think, an hour?
Raised eyebrow.
You just hear...
just kept throwing his voice a little bit in the direction of the door. Just, oh my, I wonder where that came from. What a shocking tale of events.
Oh my gosh.
Attempt to muffle even louder laughter.
A unsolvable mystery.
If it never comes from any of the protagonist group here, eventually one of the guards will come up from downstairs. Mr. Metal person, you are being very loud, and it is like 10 o'clock at night.
Alright. Yeah, it's no big deal. I'll just stop it.
No disrespect or offense. We do not need guards coming to look,
What?
Okay,
Wait, what do you mean by guards?
if people nearby hear, banging in the middle of the night in a closed theater, they might be coming to get the guards and find out why.
Oh, yeah. You guys got guards up here. Right, okay, yeah, I'll stop.
Confused. Right. Sleep well, he says, entirely unaware that you don't. So goes back downstairs. And that will be where we will leave our potential heroes for... Hey, until I see how y'all act, y'all aren't heroes.
We have such good intentions already, though.
Right. So,
Nope.
Thank you everybody for a fairly smooth first session. I had a great time. Before we get out of here, we will go ahead and tell y'all once again to go ahead and give a peek at the Extra Life charity. If someone wants to go ahead and drop that link in the chat one more time. Do good things, and Extra Life benefits children. What's better than helping children? Come on, that's an easy answer, right?
Hell yeah.
So, besides this here Blood and Silver campaign, which will be Wednesdays from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to usually 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, be sure and catch our Saturday campaign, which is a little bit earlier in the day, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Across Eberron, with the invisible yet present Jonesy as the DM, and myself, Kent, and Ian, all three as players as well. Things are not necessarily sunny there. We have
It's fine.
the
We're happy.
hopeful and up and
good
coming campaign here, but that one has already gotten into the shitstorm. So, come observe the carnage. I've been informed we are going to be raiding Ink and Lyre, so stick around to see what they've got going on. And we will see you guys next Wednesday for some of you, and Saturday for the rest. Y'all have a good rest of your night. Bye.
Bye. Find us on Facebook.
Facebook? Really?
No.
No.
I was this close to saying.